Hey, before we get to the video, I just wanted to encourage you, hit the like button. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button. Also, down below, you're gonna see a button that says thanks. If you go there, you can help support my channel, and I greatly appreciate it. Now, on to the video. So I am headed to a certain area to metal detect. I see, as I pass another one of my permissions, I see that the field is plowed. It's not been plowed, obviously, up until now. It's been difficult to metal detect this field because when they cut the soybeans in the fall, they left the stalks like 8, 10, 12 inches off the ground. The farmer actually said he was going to be getting a different type of tractor or something to cut it so that it wouldn't be that way next year. You could actually cut it closer to the ground. But anyhow, it's been next to impossible to swing a detector in this field because everything is sticking up so tall. So I'm driving by, I see that the field is plowed. So I'm going to jump on it. I have a tiny, tiny window before they come and fill it with seed and get the crops going for the spring. So I'm going to jump in and let's see what we can find. This field, I drove past it, and this field has just been plowed, and it was plowed deep. This field is the site of some really intense Civil War fighting, and there were artillery involved. So I've got the potential of finding shell fragments. The owner remembers as a boy his father farming, and he said that there were times where they'd find a shell, Civil War artillery shell, and he said he'd just pick it up and toss it in the ditch on the side of the field and keep going. There should be a lot of stuff here. Jeez, this thing is just goofy. It's given me stuff from the 30s to up to the 50s, but I'll bet you anything that this is aluminum. All right, here's what it is. Huh. What could we have here? I think this is a rivet. I think it's part of a rivet, and part of it broke off. It still has some material around the base of it, like probably leather. So I will gently clean this at home and see what I can come up with. But that's what this looks like, is half of a rivet with material still attached. So that's cool. I have found rivets here in this, in like this area right here. I found three, as a matter of fact, rivets with leather still bound around it, which is really neat. So, all right, we'll keep going. I doubt this is going to be anything. I think it's going to be aluminum, but in this specific spot, yeah, too shallow. That's what we got. So where I'm at now, you can see right here, you can see how this is plowed, and then this is not. It's the same property. I don't know why they didn't plow this area. Maybe they're just going to plant on this section. But anyhow, I have not detected this area right here that's not been plowed, not walked through it or anything. So I'm going to do that now as best I can. But I'm kind of getting into that area where you see the soybean stalks. And that's not even as high as they can get. But I'm going to see what I can do about swinging through them and see if I can locate anything. I'm close to where artillery batteries were, and there was just a ton of fighting. So there should be stuff here. All right, so this is just a weird one. It's got iron. Yeah, more than likely it's going to be iron, but I keep getting a good tone, a good sound out of it also. So it looks like a big piece of iron. Don't need the pinpointer anymore. Yeah, it's probably a blade to I was thinking blade to a plow. It's been in the ground for a long time. So with iron, when you're digging iron, it's got what's called the halo effect to the soil. You can see, you know, you guys have done it before. See that? It's a perfect example. You see the dirt that was around this, how it's looks like rust, where the rust has leached in. So you can see a side shot of it right there. You can see how the rust has leached into the soil. So when you're on your detector, it can give you some funky numbers and just look funny, because it's not just this anymore that you're picking up. It's, you've got that halo effect in the soil that's around it, and yeah, it can throw things off. I don't know what that, man. I'm glad I got the electrolysis set up now. I'm gonna throw a bunch of stuff in there, but I'll try that out. You just got a weird look to me, just because it's got this shape, like, and it's thin. It's thinner. Normally, plows to a plow, a tooth to a plow is much thicker. This is more the size of a blade. Not saying that's what it is, but I'm just curious. Throw it in the electrolysis, clean it up, and we'll see what we got. Okay. At this point, I'm going to leave this field. It's plowed, as you can see, but here's the problem. This ground is so soft, and they tilled it so deep that it's extremely hard to walk on, and it's killing my back, to be honest with you. It's just hard to walk on. So I am going to head to another permission, and let's see what we can find. All right, so this is an iron target. Just out of curiosity. What I'm finding right here, surprisingly, is there's like nothing. I mean, it's good because it's not littered with modern trash, which is nice, but also not targets every 2 feet, which I can live with that. You know, if it's a clean field, I think it's right here, then it's kind of easy to walk around with your detector being quiet, not having to sift through a bunch of junk. All right, there we go. All right, guys, I have found a lot of these spikes on this property. And there is not a railroad anywhere around here, like not even close. But I have found these spikes where either side, the Confederates or the Union, set up camp. That's the thing I keep, you know, I could be totally wrong. I don't know what else these spikes are here for. They're not railroad spikes. But the tent stakes is what keeps coming to my head. I've seen it, I've read about it, and that's just the only thing that makes sense in this specific area. Because this is where, at one time, both sides had a headquarters or camps. And specifically the headquarters was huge right here. So I know that they had tents and everything set up for the generals and all that. So it's the only thing that makes sense to me, but you know what? I wasn't there. So iron target. Look at that. Look at that. I don't know. I'll keep looking. But I'm only finding these things where I know soldiers camped or headquarters was set up. So, hey guys, wanted to bring up this issue of these iron spikes that I've been finding. In some of my previous videos, you'll see that I have found them on this property. I just want to say, I spoke with the property owner and I asked him, what do you think of these iron spikes that I'm finding? And I told him where I found them. And he said, that's got to be related to the Civil War. I've said before, and so is he, nothing happened on this property but the Civil War. His family has always been farmers. They have owned and farmed this property since before the Civil War. So he's an older guy, so he's got memories of even his grandfather back around the turn of the century when his grandfather was in this area, and then back to the Civil War era. The fields that are here were fields then. The wooded area that's just been clear cut, has never been farm fields. So we've got a pretty definitive historical timeline of this property. It's not just a random thing. And so I just keep going back to these iron spikes being related to tent stakes. Where I have found them has been specifically where a camp has been. Now, I know soldiers didn't always pitch their tent. They had them, but they didn't always pitch their tent. But these are specifically in areas where I know headquarters was. I just finished reading a book that was written by a Civil War soldier, and it went into detail of their camp life and marching and setting up camp and this and that. So this person went into great detail on the tents that they used. That's what I keep going back to. There is not a railroad in sight, and the location where I'm finding these, it just makes sense. But at the end of the day, look, I wasn't there. I can't say for certain, but that's the only thing that makes sense, is that these iron spikes were related to headquarters or some kind of tent being erected during the Civil War. Kind of interested to see what that... I can't tell if that's like a root ball that's right there. And that's what... Well, let's check it out. The last time I was detecting in this area, this would have all been underwater. It was just after a fresh rain, so I wouldn't have seen this. Okay, let's see. Yeah, the remnants of a root ball. Here we go. What in the world? I haven't even fully seen this, but I've seen enough to know that this is going to be a carved bullet. What is this? Look at that. It's hammered out just like a guitar pick almost. But it's got a curve to it. Look at that. The center is just totally gone. That was done on purpose. That's not an impacted bullet. That's a carved bullet. And I'll tell you that right here where I'm at, I can't tell you, at the time you're watching this, the videos have already come out probably long ago, but yeah, I found a lot of carved trench art from the Civil War, that whoever was literally right here during a period of time were horsing around, whittling, carving bullets, different things. But that's crazy. Look at that. How unique is that? All right, so I am going to, because this was right underneath this part of the root root balls there. I'm gonna just, for the heck of it, kind of pry some of this stuff up with my shovel and see if I can get any other signals around here. All right. Hey guys, so what is this? This is clearly a carved bullet, but I mean, just look at the pictures. I don't know what he was going for. I think it was just kind of fooling around almost, like if you compare it to just doodling on a piece of paper. I think that's what this is. It's about the size of a guitar pick. It's concave along the edges. Just interesting. I mean, it just really is interesting. I found, in a previous video, I found a bullet that had been hammered completely flat, like super flat, and then rolled up like a rug or like a sleeping bag, just rolled up real tight. That wasn't anything. That was just a soldier being bored and messing around. They did this a lot back at camp or in downtime. I call it trench art. And that's what this is. It's super cool. It's very unique, and it was found exactly where I have found a lot of these carved bullets and other keep saying the word trench art, but it was found right there in the same location, the same part of this field, very specific location in this field. So pretty cool. I'm gonna add it to the collection. It's getting bigger and bigger, these personal relics from these soldiers that were left behind. So yeah, pretty neat.